Hi Libra, this is going to be your daily download for the 24th or the 25th of March, whichever day this is finding you. It's good for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus of Libra, but please keep in mind this is a general message, so it's not going to resonate with all of you, okay? If it doesn't resonate, don't try to make it fit if it's not your story, please. It'll only confuse you. If you want to book a private reading with me, the link to my website's down in the description below, as most of you know. Also, check out my sister channel called Soma Chandra Tarot, where I read for all 12 Zodiac signs. All right, let's get into it. Libra, I think that this is about an old pattern that you are trying to break. I think that it is about a relationship. It could even be about a friendship or a sibling relationship. The overall reason for the reading is the wheel in reverse, the moon in reverse, and the 9 of wands. So, oh no, what's another one under here? 10 of wands in reverse. Okay, so you're facing your repressed emotions. These are difficult for you to face, and it forces you to look at things that you hid from yourself previously, but you're trying to do that. I see the Wheel of Fortune for you in reverse based on the other cards I see, Libra, as trying to break old cycles and patterns. But when the wheel flips into the reverse, we tend to resist change, and it's difficult. But I see you trying to do it, trying to release burdens. But it's very difficult for you to let new love in because you're still guarded against your past and your old cycles. You see? Yeah, that happens to us a lot. What came out of the Romance Angel Oracle deck was give your relationship a chance, or relationships in general a chance, but I have codependency and pay attention to the red flags. So most of you will immediately make this about a specific person because it probably is, but it could be relationships in general. Codependency issues have been getting to some of you, and being able to catch red flags right away and then move away from a relationship the minute you see them. A lot of us ignore the hell out of red flags and we stay. That's because when that happens, it's because we're operating out of a place of codependency. Codependency and being clinically empathic is where we struggle to have a sense of self outside of relationships with other people. People that experience clinical codependency get very uncomfortable when they're single and sometimes even alone. Although people that experience codependency often have a very rich fantasy life. I don't necessarily see you doing any fantasizing here, but I do see that you're somewhat restless and you're having a hard time surrendering. You might be feeling somewhat impulsive to a degree. And there is a relationship that you might consider giving a chance, but I think it's just relationships in general. So if you feel like you ignore red flags and you feel like you might experience clinical codependency, there's really good news, Libra. Codependency is curable. It's not like narcissism. Narcissism, there's no cure for. Codependency is 100% curable. Trust me, I ought to know. 15 years ago, I was codependent, and I'm not anymore. And it was hard, but you can do it. You can do it. So in between you and your environment is the 3 of Wands. I think that you and another person have turned your backs on each other, but there is still somewhat of a level of investment. And I wondered why this was happening. Why this is your mutual energy. Why the hell is everybody standing on the shoreline very far away from each other? The Sun in reverse and the World in reverse. A lack of clarity, possibly operating under a false impression with this Leo Sun. And also, there was no closure. No closure. You've had to seek personal closure. Perhaps you guys took shortcuts, or you had taken shortcuts in the past. The World in reverse and the Sun in reverse can sometimes mean very early on in a relationship or in a cycle, you think, we can have the world, baby. Well, it really activated everybody's inner child. And that's not bad, but there was a lack of clarity and a lack of closure. Lack of good communication, no ascension here. When you have to do ascension on your own, if there's another person involved, that's difficult. And I know that there's another person involved because I got a King and Queen of Wands in reverse. So here's what you're doing. You see yourself as the Page of Swords. So detective from time to time, curious. That does not mean you're open to communication. This is a detective. This is a very curious person. So you see yourself as sometimes checking in on a person from time to time or expecting some kind of communication maybe. You want the facts. The Page of Swords seeks facts. But the way you're feeling is the Devil in reverse and the Star in reverse, Capricorn and Aquarius. So honestly, I think you've given up hope on this relationship and you're trying to heal from it. I also think that this was something that you were very addicted to and you were obsessed with at one point, or you were chained and bound to it in a negative way. You are facing your shadow side here with the Devil in reverse. Bravo. You are aware of your shadow side. You're facing it. You're talking to it. You're trying to practice a detachment from something that you had otherwise felt very drawn to and probably didn't feel too great about. It's like you've given up hope, but you're still aware of this residual need to be worried that they're going to communicate with you any moment, to the point where you may check up on them. This might be a person that you do not want to talk to anymore, but yet you still see yourself as standing here. Why are you doing this? Your deeper feelings, 5 of Cups in reverse, 7 of Wands in reverse. I was like, okay, they've given up. You've given up. And you're trying to forgive yourself for it too. You just were overwhelmed by this. You're not even trying to take the high ground anymore. The obstacles and challenges are too great for you to deal with. And you're also not sorry about it either. But your actions towards this person are the Knight of Swords in reverse and the Hangman in reverse. So the Knight of Swords in reverse, you might be, first of all, you're holding yourself back. You don't want to take any risks. And I get that. That's not bad or wrong, but this guy is like revving his engine in the garage, and if he takes his foot off the brake, he's probably going to go through the side of the house. Like, visualize that for a minute. Whatever this is about, this is a restlessness that causes you to be unfocused. You're also pretty burnt out of this cycle as well. The Knight of Swords in reverse suggests an impulsivity, and so does the Hangman in reverse. Let's talk about the deeper spiritual and personal meaning of the Hangman in reverse. This is a situation that we've put ourselves in, and that's okay. That is what it is. And all we can do is go, well, shit, I can't struggle or that rope's going to get tighter. All I can do is surrender and pause and accept the pause and see something for what it really is and see it in a different way. This is a struggle for you to do. It's like, you know, it's hopeless. You're not going to go racing towards them, but if I had to guess, I can't. This explains why you keep doing this. I believe that this might be for you, Libra, a repetitive thought, feeling, or action that you do to distract yourself away from something. I also think, because the Devil was here, that this was something that you perpetuated for a very long time, to the point where it no longer served you. The good news is you know this. You are trying to break a behavior pattern here. These cards that are on the table in reverse, some of them are good. Like, let's keep the Devil in reverse. And I think if you've given up hope on this situation, I guess you've given up hope on it, and that's probably for the best. But this needs to turn into the 6 of Swords and, you know, where we're moving on. You're having a hard time moving on from this. That's because this is something that you've done for a very long time. You think about it a lot to distract you away from other things. Your brain's always getting what it wants, Libra. We perpetuate what is familiar. So it might be happening on a neurological level. It's going to require you to be the gatekeeper of your own mind and catch yourself thinking about it. Like, you might just, some of you are just, do you have like a Black Moon Lilith or South Node in Gemini maybe, where you can't help but wonder what's going on? Or you can't help but think about something? Whatever it is, you know it's hopeless and it's also not serving you. Also, some of you need to get out of a situation and move towards a dream. But in order to do that, you will have to take a risk, and you might even feel out of your league and out of your depth. What's the worst that could happen? No, really, what's the worst that could happen? Something bad might happen, or it could just all be in your head. It'll be different for each of you, and it will require you to see something from a different point of view. Some of you are being a little stubborn. You might be getting in your own way. There might be this dream that you want to move towards and you can't. It's all in your head. You might be giving up too quickly too. But something may need to end for you, or something's already ended. Someone in your environment is the 2 of Swords. They are blocking you out. They have a decision to make about you, but they're avoiding it at this point. The way they feel, 5 of Swords in the reverse, 7 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands. So they're willing to live and let live. Now, if we're talking about some narcissistic asshole, this does not apply. Okay, I don't want you guys watching tarot readings about narcissists. Go watch Narcissistic Recovery Life Coaches, Dr. Ramani in particular. Watch a psychiatrist. Okay, watch someone who has actually been educated. They can really help you. Because if you've been dealing with a narcissistic person, you actually need training on how to break these cycles. Trust me, I had to know. One of my parents is narcissistic. It was very difficult. If you need help, ask for it. But I don't think this is necessarily a narcissistic person. It could be, though. But they are willing to kind of live and let live. This is a reconciliation, but it's not the 3 of Cups. They do stand here and think about what happened between the 2 of you, but ultimately they get up on their high horse and they ignore you. They might even feel like they have to turn their back on this and pretend they're the winner in some way. Their action towards you is the 4 of Swords in the upright and the Hermit in reverse. Dead on their ass. You probably don't know what's going on with this person. This card combination is, I haven't changed my Facebook profile picture in a year. No one knows what's going on with my life. I keep my social media and my life on lock and key. At least Libra doesn't know what's going on with me. They are doing this intentionally. They are ghosting you. They are withdrawn. And they're also not really searching their soul about it. They're just dead on their ass about it. But their deeper feelings are the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands in reverse. Was this a friend? You could have been friends. You could have had a very passionate connection, but you did not fall in love with each other. Well, somebody might have fallen in love, but when I get the King and Queen of Wands and the Devil, it could have been sexy, but it doesn't have to be. You could even be siblings. You could be friends. One of you had a hard time not being self-centered, and one of you had a hard time having a strongly defined sense of self, according to this person. These 2 make a great team. Any of the kings and queens together make a great team, but that did not happen. And this has ended, Scorpio. This is over. You've accepted the ending. But Ace of Swords in reverse, 8 of Pentacles to the Ace of Wands. So there is something that you are meant to be working on, Libra. It's new. It's something new. And it's simply inspiration and new opportunities that have growth potential. And it's something that you're meant to be working on. You're meant to be entering a time where you are inspired with what you do when you're doing it. You're having a hard time having a breakthrough with that at the moment. I think you are focused on inner clarity. Judgment's clouded. Somebody might be rethinking something, but I don't think so. I think that this is about breaking a pattern. So I really don't give a shit about this person. They're not in my collective. Not that I don't care about them, but you know what I mean. I'm here for you. I'm not reading for them. I'm reading for you. Let's try to figure out what you can do. I think that these cards need to change. First of all, you need to stop freaking checking in on them. Stop. If you're not doing that, you're not doing it. But some of you are squirming in your chair right now. Stop checking in on them. You've got to stop caring what they're doing. There's something new that you're meant to be exploring and studying, but you've got to have hope in this new dream, and you've got to continue to work with this Devil in reverse. That's important, identifying this, and ask yourself, what risks are worth taking that I'm afraid to take, and what can I see from a different point of view to help me continue to break these cycles and continue to face my lower emotions and find my untapped hidden potential and continue to let these things go. I think it's something that you're working on. And moving forward in relationships, yeah, you really can't give new relationships a chance until you work through any codependency you're having. For the love of all things holy in the universe, know that another person that has codependency issues is not really capable of having a healthy relationship. So if they're codependent, you cannot help them. And don't research for them either. They have to save themselves. And definitely pay attention to those red flags. So that seems to be what's coming out today, Libra, for you guys. I do see you going in a good direction. This is so tough. It's so tough to seek personal closure. It's so tough to break an old habit. I think that this might be something you're thinking or feeling or doing that's just so familiar to do and to focus on. It's distracting you away from other things that you're meant to be doing. Out of the ashes, the phoenix does rise. Death and Scorpio teach us this. Yeah. So if this resonates, I hope it helps you. If you've been going through something like this, just know that the universe knows. Obviously, this is what came out for us today. So I truly hope it helps you. I'm always listening to the universe for you, my awesome Libra family. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.